Hello guys, Geeky Brummie here at the University of Wolverhampton Telford campus, here with Rusta, showing us how to fly some drones today. Hello guys, so I'm here with Charlie McGee from Rusta, who's been sort of just showing us how to fly the drones all day and doing the flight evaluations. So how did you get into drone flying?
Well, Rusta are a company that are all ex-military instructors, and I spent 35 years with the Royal Air Force. But I'm also a private pilot, flying as director of the flying club at Royal Air Force Cosford. My initial intention was to get into UAVs to find out how safe they would be for me as a general aviation pilot. Stayed with it for quite some time, and I've become a CAA instructor examiner for the company Rusta.
Okay. How was that transition going from that sort of heavier, bigger aircraft into sort of smaller, more sort of?
Really well, because the disciplines that we use both in commercial aviation, both in general aviation and in UAV flying are the same disciplines really. And I think we found that the university here at feedback sessions when we finished doing courses here, that bringing the other disciplines into it helped the students understand what UAV flying is about.
How important is it for people to sort of understand the sort of ethical considerations and the regulation regarding UAVs or drones, as people call them?
It is extremely important, and it's important from the angle of, you probably have heard about the recent release of information that the Air Navigation Order is about to change in July, and it's going to change with an emphasis on flight safety. For the first time, the hobbyist is going to be required to register their machine and have done the basic flight safety course. If they have not done that, the police will be able to actually remove the vehicle from them. And in the industry, we're very glad of this move.
So you said the industry is quite glad of this move. What do you think that this means for the industry then, in terms of?
I think it will increase credibility, because the courses that we are doing, of course, are a course that's what's called a permit for commercial operation, and it's a CAA permission to fly, and that permission then allows people to work for higher reward. In other words, they can fly commercially. There are a lot of hobbyists that won't be flying commercially, and quite rightly they should just fly for fun. However, they need to actually have restriction placed upon them so that they remain safe. Otherwise, it gives the whole industry a bad name.
What sort of damage or effect on the sort of industry as a whole and the wider community can sort of irresponsible flyers have?
Well, you can't pick up a press at all these days without hearing somebody talking about a near miss with a drone. We've not actually seen very many of them. We've heard of some polybags at 20,000 feet, but not really UAVs. If I told you that the regulation for UAVs, whether you're a hobbyist or a commercial pilot, is 400 feet in height and 500 meters in distance. One shouldn't be going outside that, and you've got to stay within visual line of sight of the vehicle at all times.
So obviously you work for Rusta. How is sort of working with them and sort of their training in particular?
Rusta, based in Lincolnshire, as I said before, they're all ex-military instructors. We have an ex-military ethos, if you like, that we bring to the party. But we're very fortunate that Rusta and the University of Wolverhampton have entered into partnership, which means that we have the ability to deliver courses both at the Wolverhampton Business Centre, here at Telford, and also in Hereford. What it means for us is that in the future, university students will be able to do their PFCO as part of their university degree course.
What's a PFCO, sorry?
Permission for commercial operation. That's the CEA regulation piece that you would have type thing. And of course, to have that to operate commercially, you've got to have an insurance cover, which covers up to about £5 million insurance. I don't see that a UAV is going to cause £5 million worth of damage, but there you go.
Well, let's hope not.
Yeah.
So what's the sort of size and scale of UAV that Rusta cover?
Well, today we've just on the flight evaluation field, we've done a Mavic which sits in the 0 to 7 kgs. It's sub 7 kgs as people talk about. And beyond that, we've got a Phantom Day, again sub 7 kgs. But the university have a larger machine which sits in the between 7 and 20 kgs. That's kilograms we're talking about now.
Yeah.
And the S1000, nice machine with a nice camera attached to it. A Canon 5. I like the camera, you see. A Canon 5. And yeah, it works really well. But we, in the PFCO aspect, are from 0 to 20 kilograms.
So anything over 20 kilos would be sort of
high level stuff, and it goes off to an even more advanced pace. But 20 kilograms is an awful lot in an air vehicle. It really is an awful lot.
So what would we be talking about at that stage? Obviously, you've got like the octocopters.
It is, but that then would go into a registration process, whether the PCs beneath from 0 to 20 don't have a registration per se, either they don't have a registration number on the side of the vehicle, but above that they would then have just exactly that. They need to be registered and they would have to have airworthiness checked by the CA, etc.
So obviously we see a lot of production and filming companies using drones more and more. What are some of the other uses of drones outside in other industries perhaps?
Well, in partnership with the university, we also sit on the Harper Adams University's panel for agriculture. And there's fantastic innovation out there. They've got such a thing as the hands-free hectare, whereby there's a hectare of land that's been crop taken from it and nobody's been in it for 2 years. And they've used drones and vehicles that have got remote GPS to be able to operate the thing. That aside, construction work. People can inspect the building without the expense of putting a scaffolding up. Venues, as long as you don't fly over directly over the venue type, you can get a scale of the number of people that are there. But there are a huge number of applications now. They are coming out of the woodwork, that's for sure.
So if people want to register with the course, how would they get in contact with you or your colleagues?
My suggestion would be, because this partnership that we're talking about today and we're in the local area, would be that the University of Wolverhampton Business Solutions angle would be the best, and the website would be the first point of contact. Because we are in partnership with Rusta, if you did choose to come via the Rusta website, you would still arrive at the same place. But I think it's prudent to make sure that the university have the involvement from the local area.
Yep. Thank you for talking with me today.
It's been a pleasure.
All your links will be below, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for your time.